On a cold November evening in 2011, the quiet rhythm of life in Longling Township, a small town near Guangzhou City in Jiangxi province, was shattered by a frantic call to the police. A young man, barely able to control his voice, claimed that his wife was dead. His words tumbled out in gasps and sobs. He said he had come home to find her lifeless, that something terrible had happened inside their small family clothing shop. Within minutes, police cars roared through the narrow streets, their sirens slicing the night. Officers rushed to the scene. What they found inside that two-story shop was not just a crime scene. It was the beginning of one of the strangest, most tangled cases the province had ever seen. A case where nothing was as it first appeared, where every clue led to another contradiction, and where the truth only emerged thanks to a single overlooked piece of evidence glinting on a balcony. The victim was Kang Yannu, just 27 years old. To her neighbors, she was hardworking, pretty, financially independent. She had turned the front floor of the rented building into a small clothing boutique, the kind of shop where women from the town came to browse cheap dresses and bright sweaters. The second floor was her living space, simple but neat. Her life seemed ordinary, steady, enviable even. But inside that building, on November 17, 2011, officers found her lying on the landing near the staircase, her body sprawled on her back, her clothes disheveled, her lower garments pulled down. It was a sight so jarring that even veteran investigators paused before stepping closer. Next to her body was something unusual, a pair of brand new wool slippers, neatly placed as if on display. Her husband, Ma Jiaming, who had made the desperate call to the police, swore she had never owned them. To detectives, the slippers looked staged, like props in a performance. The room around her did not tell the story of a violent fight. On a small table, scattered cosmetics and 2 boxes of condoms, one already opened, hinted at something stranger, more intimate. Missing were her necklace, her mobile phone, and perhaps, police first thought, her dignity. At first, robbery seemed plausible, but within hours that theory collapsed. Her wallet with several hundred yuan sat untouched. Behind the bedroom door, investigators discovered a bag containing more than 8,000 yuan in cash. Whoever had killed her had not been looking for money. Then came another clue. In the bathroom, officers found an empty condom wrapper, but no condom. Forensic technicians immediately recognized the significance. In cases of sexual assault, such details often become decisive. Yet for now, the evidence was incomplete. On the ground floor, her everyday slippers were found near the entrance. One overturned, as if she had been yanked or had stumbled in a struggle. Along the staircase, faint drag marks led upward, suggesting her body had been pulled after death. On the floor, barely visible, was a shoe print, male size 42, narrow build. The likely height of the wearer, between 1.65 and 1.70 meters, about 5'5" to 5'7". The autopsy gave the grim details. Yannu had been strangled, the hemorrhaging in her eyes and thyroid gland leaving no doubt. Her time of death was estimated between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. And then came the shock. She had been 2 months pregnant. That revelation added another layer of cruelty to the crime. But the breakthrough came with the DNA. Forensic scientists lifted 2 different genetic traces. One, skin caught beneath her fingernails, evidence of a struggle, of her fighting back. The other, saliva found on her neck, as if she had been kissed during the attack. 2 samples, 2 different men, which meant that on the night she died, there were 2 male presences in that shop. Detectives turned to her personal life. They seized her computer and were stunned. Her chat history revealed over 80 male contacts, many of them exchanging flirtatious or suggestive messages. Some had threatened her, some demanded exclusivity. One, using the alias Sun Wukong, the Monkey King from Chinese folklore, had written ominously that she should stop seeing others or face consequences. He was identified as Wang Xingwu, a local government employee. When investigators brought him in, they noticed scratches across his neck, exactly the kind of wounds a woman might leave if clawing for her life. Suspicion sharpened, but DNA cleared him. He had been involved with Yannu, but he was not her killer. Attention shifted. Another man surfaced, Kang Yannu, a 27-year-old factory worker, known gambler and debtor. He owed Yannu a large sum of money. He admitted calling her on the night of her death. When his DNA was tested, it matched the skin under her fingernails. Suddenly, the case appeared solved. He had fought with her, she had scratched him, and she had died. Yuankai confessed to an argument. He said she confronted him about his unpaid debts, that he lost his temper, and that she clawed his skin. But he swore he had left her alive. He had not killed her. And the saliva found on her neck, the second man's DNA, was not his. His alibi sounded weak. He claimed he had been in the factory bathroom for more than 2 hours. It sounded ridiculous until detectives re-examined the geography. Detective Ya Fubin, retracing the route, discovered a hidden back door that led across a river and directly toward Yannu's shop. A determined man could walk there in 40 minutes, commit the crime, and return without anyone noticing. Yuankai's story unraveled. He was arrested. But even then, one puzzle remained: the saliva, the second man. Investigators scoured the apartment again and again. Days passed. Pressure mounted. The public demanded answers. Then, during yet another sweep, a flashlight beam caught something on the balcony, tucked into a corner so dark it had been missed before. It was the missing condom, the single piece of evidence that tied everything together. Testing revealed the truth. The DNA matched the saliva on Yannu's neck, and it did not belong to Yuankai. It belonged to a stranger, Kang Ha, 23 years old, freshly graduated from university. He had no known connection to the victim. His name had never appeared in her contacts. He was, in theory, a ghost in her life. Yet when police arrested him, they found her missing jewelry and her mobile phone in his possession. Confronted with the evidence, Kang Ha broke. His confession was as senseless as it was chilling. Days earlier, he claimed he had lost his wallet on a bus. Convinced a young woman had stolen it, his anger festered into paranoia. When he walked past Yannu's clothing shop, he saw her. In his deluded mind, he convinced himself she was the thief. He confronted her, strangled her in rage near the staircase, then dragged her upstairs. There, he assaulted her corpse, stole her jewelry and phone, and fled. The condom he had discarded from the balcony landed not in the street, but right where investigators would later find it. His confession shocked even hardened detectives. There was no logic, no connection, no long-standing feud or relationship. Just a random fixation, a stranger's delusion turned into lethal violence. The case that had seemed like a love triangle, a jealous husband, a vengeful debtor, was in reality something stranger, more tragic. Two men had been present in her final hours. One, Yuankai, who had argued with her and left scratches on her neck. The other, Kang Ha, who ultimately killed her in a paranoid fit. Without the balcony discovery, the truth might never have emerged. The trial was swift. Both men faced charges. Yuankai was prosecuted for assault and obstruction. But it was Kang Ha who bore the weight of justice. He was sentenced to death. The community was left reeling. Kang Yannu was remembered as a hard-working young woman, carrying the promise of new life in her pregnancy, cut down not by betrayal from someone she loved, but by the cruel randomness of a stranger's obsession. Her death became a cautionary tale whispered across Jiangxi, that evil sometimes wears no mask, no warning, no familiar face. It can come from nowhere, born of jealousy, anger, or madness. Her family never recovered. Her husband, Ma Jiaming, whose frantic call had first alerted police, was left to carry the weight of suspicion, grief, and betrayal by the twists of the investigation. Her mother, when told she had been 2 months pregnant, collapsed in tears. For them, no verdict, no execution could bring back the daughter they had lost, or the grandchild who would never be born. And the questions linger. How many crimes remain unsolved because one vital clue is never found? How many killers walk free because a condom, a footprint, a single strand of hair goes unnoticed? In the Kang Yannu case, justice caught up with the guilty, but only just. If not for that overlooked piece of evidence glinting on a balcony, the story might have ended differently. The case of Kang Yannu remains one of Jiangxi's most infamous crimes. Not because of the brutality alone, but because of its bizarre mixture of coincidence, deception, and sheer senselessness. A hard-working woman, full of life, erased in a single night. A reminder that sometimes the greatest dangers don't come from enemies we know, but from strangers passing in the night. What do you think? Was Kang Ha's motive truly paranoia about a stolen wallet? Or was there something darker in him all along? Share your thoughts below. I'll be reading them all. And if this case chilled you as much as it chilled me, don't forget to subscribe to Crimenest Every week we bring you the darkest, most haunting true crime stories from Asia and beyond. Stories that prove the monsters we fear are often closer and stranger than we imagine. Until next time, stay safe.